Where's Robin?
What?
He's not here.
What?
Not that I can see, anyway.
Oh my God, did they come in and get him in the middle of the night then?
Oh my God, I hope not.
I'm right here.
How'd you get out there?
Well, the bars aren't that close. It's rather easy to squeeze between them.
Yeah, not for me. What are you eating?
I was hungry, and I smelled cheese.
Oh, where did you find cheese?
Oh, well, there's a fridge around the corner, down the hallway.
Oh, really? No. Good God. All this time and we could have just walked out.
Yeah, again, not me. Can you find the keys to this door?
Oh, good idea. Wait here.
As opposed to what? Good evening, and welcome to the Azud Raeb Report America. Since everyone at Fox News has joined Trump's cabinet, we are now America's only state-approved news source. Huzzah! I am your host, Azud Raeb. It is safe to say that for most of the last decade, parents, schools, extracurricular clubs, and even fast food restaurants have been successful at introducing healthier foods to kids. Gone are the days when track meets ended with Coke and donuts. Now it's all Gatorade, juice, milk, and carrots. Our children are growing up with low-sugar, low-fat foods that are without preservatives, certainly in far fewer amounts than we had as kids. And most of the proletariat think that is a good thing. Well, ha! In 1901, human life expectancy was around 42 years, and that was the year that processing foods for mass consumption really began. Since Latin and sciences were introduced to our diets in the form of preservatives and processed foods and words we can't say, our life expectancy has doubled from 42 years in 1901, when everyone had to eat natural foods, to nearly 88 years, slightly less if you're in America. Mind you, that was at its peak. Even vegetables were sprayed with preservatives for transit. Things have dropped a bit since we stopped doing that. I find it suspicious that at the same time more and more children are being forced off Latin and sciences foods and back onto vegetables by school boards, parents, and extracurricular clubs, that for the first time in over 100 years, the life expectancy of a child born today is 13 years less than it was for their parent. Ha! Even McHappy Meals have healthy snacks now, instead of preservative-rich, high-sugar treats, and our children are dying because of it. And because parents are robbing their children of sweets, preservatives, and flavor enhancers, and replacing those chemically bonded foods with untouched, unlabeled dead things, also known as vegetables, those kids now will only live to their mid-60s, and it's all because the little moppets aren't getting enough Latin and sciences in their diet. Ugh, stop the insanities, people. Get your kids back on the same preservatives we had growing up before their life expectancy returns to the mid-40s. Remember, they've got to pay for your retirement, and they cannot do that if they are not preserved properly. Azud has spoken.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anyone else in here.
Yeah, that figures.
What's a hollow capacitor?
Well, that's the thingy that President Epstein was holographically bugging us with, and the thingy I had to hack in order to get our earlier message out. Why?
Well, there's this thingy plugged into it here, and it's blinking. It's got a label on it that says, can you believe that? Override unit. They bloody labeled it.
Good Lord, that's just a regress key. They've co-opted our signal from the studio using a simple regress key. At this non-critical chokehold, really? Ugh, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand what any of that means.
This This USB thingy is how they interrupted our broadcast signal with their own remote feed. Oh, it's so simple, that's annoying. I wish I'd thought of it.
Well, what happens if we pull it out?
Let's find out. Well, that was a fat load of nothing.
Next up on the Azud Raeb report, meanwhile, something sinister is happening on late-night American televisions. Oh my. Welcome to This Hour Has 7 Minutes. I'm your host, Jerome Giraffe.
And I am your other host, Sir Winston Bulldog. We begin tonight with a piece titled, Conservatives Are Awesome.
Conservatives love capitalism, at least that's what they say. And a key component of capitalism is, of course, supply and demand, which is why conservatives say the grocery chains like Loblaws aren't gouging the consumer with $31 a kilo chicken, but that the price simply reflects the higher demand for chicken than supply can meet. That is, of course, why Doug Ford's solution to the health crisis in Ontario was hiring more nurses at higher pay, since pandemic burnout has seen a drop in the number of those in the profession. And the solution to higher demand over that of supply is, obviously, to pay more. Right? Simple. Supply, demand, capitalism. I mean, he wouldn't be stupid enough to think that public funds would be better spent encouraging entrepreneurs to invest millions in short-term private clinics, as one day Ontario voters will come to their senses and he surely will be removed from power. These private clinics would become instantly unprofitable. And of course, the stupidest thing a conservative could do with public money is actually suggest a system that has a 40% profit markup included for uninvolved corporate masters and profit-seeking shareholders. Obviously, no leader would be that stupid.
Yeah. Take Alberta's premier and Florida governor in a black wig, Danielle Smith, who would be an idiot to suggest that people who had to live through short-term lockdowns, brief mask mandates, and an obligation to get vaccinated before they could travel, so they didn't spread a highly virulent and deadly contagion, were more of a victim of discrimination than, say, gays, people of color, those with mobility challenges, or, I don't know, maybe something extremely Albertan, like being Indigenous. And conservatives in New Brunswick would, of course, also be too smart to remove apartment rental caps until a market has a glut of available rentals, because as capitalists, they would know that greedy landlords would probably gouge existing tenants with 96% year-over-year rental increases they wouldn't be allowed to do if the conservatives had left the rental cap in place. Increases that would make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to pay suddenly hyperinflated rents. And as smart capitalists, they'd know, of course, that any government that tolerated that sort of nonsense would find themselves back in opposition the very next election, if not sooner. You know, exactly as happened with the November 2024 New Brunswick provincial election. Nor would any conservative legislature anywhere be stupid enough to cower to a minor group of 6 chaos-inducing radicals, particularly when their caucus is made up of more than 215 other members. Not if they wanted to remain in power, that is.
It would be as stupid as the idea Republicans were still pushing the narrative that it was leftists dressed as MAGA that stormed the Capitol buildings on January 6th in order to stop certification of an election that the leftists won.
Just as it would be stupid for Donald Trump to pardon the January 6 rioters, if they were, in fact, radical leftist Democrats in disguise.
I mean, we know conservatives think we're gullible, but anyone pushing any of that would be off the charts stupid. Almost as stupid as anyone believing any of it. Am I right?
Yeah. And now this.
Well, it's not enough to cut the signal. We need to make sure they can't co-opt it again as soon as we leave.
How?
Well, we could invert the wires.
Invert the wires.
That's risky, though.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that.
And why is that risky? Well, whoever does that will likely get an electric shock.
Not it! You're the only one tall enough to reach that breaker, you furry git.
Oh!
So,
Well, let's stop them from hacking us again then. Well, not necessarily. It will, however, have them hacking someone else, so we'll be safe until they realize what's happened, and by then, well, if we're back in the studio, we can lock them out from there.
Who will they be hacking instead of us?
Does it really matter, Bear? Yeah, that doesn't look pleasant.
Does what matter?
Is he going to be all right? Well, I don't smell burning fur, so, yes?
Ha! You have once again forgot that I controlled the switch deciding what programming is broadcast. Silly capitalist libtards. Yeah, the fact is, no matter how many times you try to assert your signal, Azud Raeb minus will always prevail. Long live Azud Raeb minus!
From director Bob Wise, the man who brought
Wait,
the
what
Academy
is that
Award-winning
programming
musical
nonsense?
West Side Story and the Sound of Music comes Star Trek, the motion picture, the musical.
A musical Star Trek?
Enterprise. Enterprise.
Oh, Krabsky.
Every morning you greet me. Clean and bright.
I think they're on to us.
Born for flight. You look happy to see me. Bless my ship. And my story.
Parasite Plus, your mountain of disappointment.
Has somebody checked that cell lately?
So, that's it then? We're all fixed? Our feed is routing through the satellite now, so I guess so.
Now what?
Now we get the hell out of here! Oh, good.
Works for me.
Whee! Great, where's he going?
You know, for a guy who identifies as a robin, that's a rather penguin-y thing he's doing there.
Yo, no kidding.
Yeah, can we keep going, please? We're gonna freeze out here. It's not that bad. I mean, it's a little chilly, but at least it's no wind. You and the penguin might be set up for this, but I can tell you right now, when I was a kid, we were in a burrow trying to keep our nuts warm.
Don't you dare. Ugh. Just let's keep going, okay?
Ugh, that can't be good. What? I thought only the granola crowd had Teslas. Yeah, Musk supported Trump, remember? According to the internet, they're toxic maggots now. I heard their value had plummeted like a stone in the ocean. Huh? Better to light them on fire than try and resell one. What are the odds that Trump's ICE agents are driving Teslas now? Oh, crap. It's coming! What are we gonna do? Oh, jeez, and there's nowhere to hide or anything. Just play it cool. I'll handle this. Handle it? What are you gonna say to an ICE agent? Nothing. I'm gonna make squirrel noises and hope he thinks I'm a native. You should do the same. Yeah, in this shirt, that's really gonna... Oh, dear.
Hi, guys.
Jeff? How in the hell?
Yeah, I know, right? You thought you ditched me back in Mississauga.
What do you mean, ditched? Your wheels had seized up and you weigh a ton. What were we supposed to do? How did you get moving?
I talked a chipmunk into bringing me a jerry can of oil. It took about a week, but eventually I got the ball rolling again.
Yeah, this reunion is great, and seriously, we're overjoyed to see you, but can we get inside that, please? We're freezing out here.
Oh, yeah, sure. Hop in. Let me unlock the doors.
Oh, hey, look, Jimmy, it's computer. It's computer. What are you, an idiot? What? You need an article in that comment, like, a computer, the computer. You sound like you've just taken a blow to the head saying, it's computer. No sane being talks like that. What's so funny?
It's computer, is exactly what Trump said when he got in his first Tesla. It's computer.
My point is made then, isn't it?
You know, considering their recent reputation, a Cybertruck seems like an odd choice.
Not at all, Penguin. The pothead who owned this sold it to me for some chipmunk pelts and a hemp bracelet.
Chipmunk pelts?
Never mind. Maggot thinks Elon Musk is one of them, probably because he gave Trump so much money and then trashed the US government to fund tax breaks for billionaires. Besides, these things are easy to hack.
What do you mean hack?
It's computer.
Ha, see? Shut it. Hey, Jeff, how did you find us?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it must have been hard tracking us all the way to Russia and everything.
You're not in Russia. You're in Alberta.
What are you talking about? That gulag was horrendously run down.
Yeah, that wasn't a gulag. It was an Albertan public school.
What?
Didn't you notice the screaming children in the schoolyard?
Yeah, I thought that was the torture room.
Same diff.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen or heard anything in a while, too. I thought it had gone south rather badly.
No. It's like that because the teachers went on strike because Danielle Smith is an incompetent fool of a premier. No worries, though. She used a constitutional bypass measure to force him back to work.
Smith used the notwithstanding clause to end a teacher strike?
Yep.
That's like smashing Jell-O with a jackhammer.
Well, that's how the UCP works. Anyway, your signal went through the school system. It was rather easy to backtrack it.
Are you saying we're still in Edmonton?
Oh, well, I mean, just outside of, but yeah.
Well, how bad are things now?
What things?
You know, being the 51st state and all, now that Canada's been taken over by Trump.
Wow, you guys were really given the hard Kool-Aid, weren't you? Huh?
What Kool-Aid? There was no Kool-Aid.
No. Trump didn't take over Canada. Trudeau backed out and the Liberals picked Mark Carney, who slapped the Conservatives so badly in the April election that even Pierre Poilievre lost his own seat.
What? Carleton actually voted him out?
Oh yeah. He had to run again in the safest Conservative seat in Canada, Butt-Kisser Crowfoot. And even then, he lost 3% of the vote that the guy he booted out had.
Why would he do that? I mean, the honorable thing would have been to step down after that sort of embarrassing defeat.
Well, he didn't want to give up Stornoway.
Storno what now? His free government mansion.
Mark Carney's prime minister. Interesting.
Yep, and Canada is still true north, strong and free, despite Trump's idiotic and illegal tariffs.
So, how bad's the recession?
Oh yeah, so some sectors are suffering, but Canada's maintained modest growth and employment went up most of last quarter, although it dipped again. It's typical for the spring though. But we're in a trade surplus now.
How in the hell did Connie pull that off?
Well, he's been working with the provinces to remove provincial trade barriers, basically replacing a lot of American trade with, cross-Canada trade. And most Canadians have been boycotting all American goods, picking Canadian alternatives even when they're a bit more expensive.
Really?
Elbows up, boys.
Well, thank God Pierre Poilievre didn't win then.
Hell yeah.
We'd already be flying the Star-Spangled Banner if that had happened. Connie really pulled that off, eh?
It gets better. Carney's investing in programs to help Canadian companies increase trade with Europe and Asia at levels never before seen. And Europe is seeing Canada as the reliable trading partner that America isn't anymore. The U.S. economy is in a slow crash, with nearly half the states down there already in recession.
Oh, that's sad. There's so much potential.
Oops. Hang on and keep quiet.
What's wrong?
Yeah, we got a local sheriff pulling us over. I must have been speeding.
Alberta has sheriffs?
Yeah, well, Premier Danielle Smith is under so many corruption investigations that she's doing the only thing she can to avoid being found guilty.
Proving her innocence.
No, replacing the RCMP with her own police force. Now shush. Afternoon, officer.
Bad night to be driving out and about, eh?
Oh, not in this thing. It's built by Elon Musk,
Yeah, well, I didn't think much of that dude before he started putting his money where our conservative mouths were.
Yeehaw.
Well, if you're sure you're okay then.
Oh yeah. Yippee-ki-yay, y'all.
Excuse me.
Thanks, Sheriff. You stay safe out here.
Thank you kindly. On your way then.
Okay.
Whew, that was weird.
Yeah, I know, right? Drive a Nazi Cybertruck and suddenly the fascists think you're one of them. Who could have seen that happening?
I'm getting a breaking squirrel alert or squillert.
Squirrel.
Hey, Jimmy, look at the screen. Oh, good. Turn that off. No. We need to see it.
As I'm sure you're all well aware, last week down in Texas was Texas Parks and Wildlife's inaugural Fat Squirrel Week. Well, a chubby little winner has been crowned, a squirrel called Chunkosaurus Rex.
Not fun, is it? Hey, Hefta Squirrelosaurus Rex? Shut it.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how dark the world seems, somewhere a squirrel has a very big butt. Chunkosaurus Rex.
How much do you weigh anyway? Yeah, I've tied a stone to the end of my tail. How'd you like a swipe across the head? No, not really.
Three other finalists, Chunk Norris, Stanley the Texas Tank, and Nutella.
Yeah, pity they canceled him.
Who?
Colbert and The Late Show. CBS pulled the plug on him, the show, and all of late night television.
He's still number one in the time slot, isn't he? What?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Why in the world would they do that?
Well, you know, Trump threatened to hold up the Skydance Paramount merger.
Yeah, billions on the line. Free speech be damned, eh? It's always about money with that lot. No more Late Show? That's horrible. Oh, what now, Penguin?
Nothing, just a random thought.
And?
Well, an opportunity, actually.
Opportunity? What does that mean?
Let me think about it.
Okay, here's the studio.
What? We really were that close?
Yep, pretty much.
Why did it feel like we were in Russia?
Oh, well, Alberta doesn't fund their schools properly, so what do you want?
I wonder how she gets away with that.
Well, you know, the premier's pretty dismissive of, what was the quote again? Oh yeah, criticism from a bunch of puppets.
Oh, she's seen our show then?
Probably not. I bet that's what she calls all of her critics.
Too bad. Yo, welcome back to Seal Clubbing with Ritchie. I am your host, Ritchie Seal, and we're gonna kick off our 50th all-day party with this jam by, yeah, you guessed it, 50 Cent. Oh snap, the adults are back. Run for it, Rocket!
Oh, I never thought we'd see this place again.
Okay, so we need to get things rolling again.
So what do you want me to do?
Well, set security for starters.
Okay.
We don't ever want a repeat of that kidnapping nonsense.
Yeah, sure.
What's with all these candy wrappers?
Yeah, it looks like my college dorm.
First thing we should do is lock that door. Looks like somebody left in a hurry.
Then I guess we'll need to ensure our signal is secure so we won't get hacked again. That would be rather unlikely. Oh, really? Wow, great. Well, our feed is routing from the in-studio circuit to the interweb directly through the satellite now. There's no way they'll compromise that then, eh?
Well, not from down here.
Yeah, well, I suppose they could send someone up. Right, like that's going to happen. Okay, so what are we going to do now? Same old, or, well, I have an idea. Is that the opportunity you mentioned back in the truck?
Could be.
Yeah, I think I already know where you're heading with this, Penguin. I am a robin, not a penguin. Yeah, and no one cares. Yeah, does anyone want to let the host know what's going on? Seriously?
It couldn't be more obvious if it were a Mack truck crashing through a wall.
What does that mean? Yeah, it's time for the bear to poke back. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the sounds of that.
Elbows up, President Epstein. The Late Show is coming for you.
Copy, Comrade Cansonet. You are go for Duza Bear satellite interception. Good luck.
Dun dun dun.